In this video, we are gonna test if keen, or in other words, critical strike chance stacks together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stack keen with the sword and shield, since you can get keen on your shield and on your sword. So I'm going to test these two together and see if keen stacks. I also have a ring with keen on it. Plus, if you hover over your weapon, you'll see that you already have 3.0% critical hit chance. So I'll work out all of these numbers and see if we can stack keen together. But I'm not gonna make this a big sample test. I'm just going to hit 30 hits with each test and see if we get close to the numbers. For example, 11% extra increase critical chance and so forth. So this is not gonna be a big sample test, or else it's going to take me all day just to test if critical chance and keen increases your crit chance. I just found out that the shield actually gives you critical chance as well. So what we're going to do is test critical chance. So I'm going to start off with the sword, just with the sword, no shield, and see if we can get a 3% crit chance, since in the corner it says that the sword has a 3.3% critical chance. So we're first going to test just the sword, no extra rings or any extra crit chance, since the sword is restacked. So let's test this. I'm going to do 30 hits and see if it works. So I'm gonna start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we're gonna add some more crit chance to this build. So what I'm gonna do is use the shield. So now we should have 6% crit chance, since the shield also gives you critical hit chance. So it should be 6 in total. Let's start testing this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This dummy is bugged, so I'm moving on to this dummy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So next up, we're gonna use the ring with 11% extra crit chance. So we should have about 11 plus 6 is 17% extra critical hit chance. So let's test this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Next up, we're gonna use the keen shield to see if our crit increases. So it's 11% plus 11% plus 6%. So in total it should be 28% total critical hit chance that we have here. So let's see if it increases. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we're going to increase our crit chance even by more by using the keen sword. So if we use the keen sword, we should have about 39% critical strike chance. Let's see if this works. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So what we're going to do now is increase our critical strike chance by going to the skill tree and actually using precision perk. So what I'm first gonna do is place it in here. So I'm gonna use the empower stab and increase our critical chance. This should increase our total crit chance to 49%. So it's the ring, the shield, the keen sword, plus the extra critical chance from the sword, plus the precisioning perk. So we should have about 49% crit chance. So let's test this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. As you just saw, we just did a few tests with the sword and shield and basically testing crit chance in the game. So what's the conclusion? Well, I just found out that all characters in the game starts off with a 10% base crit chance. So even though you're using a rapier, a musket, a bow, whatever weapon, you basically always have a 10% base crit chance. Plus, your weapon also gives you a percentage of crit, like the rapier gives you 5% extra crit, and the sword gives you 3% on the sword, and 3% on the shield, which in total makes it 6% extra crit chance. Which is accurate since we tested the first test with 13% crit chance, and the second test with the shield we got 16% crit chance. So basically, every character has a 10% base crit chance. The next thing that I've learned is that keen on the sword and keen on the shield doesn't stack, since we tested just keen on the sword and just keen on the shield, and then we combined them, and we got the same amount of crit chance, which was 43.33. So both of them we got the same crit chance numbers, so this means that if we have the same perk on the sword and same perk on the shield, we don't benefit from both of them, we only benefit from one of them. But as you know, I've tested lifestealing on the sword and the shield, and they basically cancelled each other out. So I'm going to say that the sword and shield, if they have the same two perks on them, they are basically bugged, and they might even cancel each other out. But we don't know, so if you consider using the sword and shield with the same two perks on it, just be careful. It might cancel each other out, or at least one perk might be wasted. So I would recommend, if you're going sword and shield, do not have the same perks on your sword and your shield together. In the future I'm gonna test other perks on the sword and shield as well, if they stack or not, but at the moment, this is my conclusion for the sword and shield. So let's move on to the critical chance cap. What's the most amount of chance that you can actually critical strike? Well, from this test, I think it's safe to say that you can critical strike only 50% of the time. So it caps at 50%, since we tested all the crit together, and with the last test we had about a 49% crit chance. But if we add 10% base crit with it, we should have had like 69% crit chance, but it capped at 50%. But we also have to take in account that the keen on the shield was bugged, so it was more or less 49% at the max, but we still got a 50% critical chance in the last test. So I'm gonna say that the max amount of crit you can get is 50%, but take into account that this was a really small test and we didn't really have like over 50% critical strike chance. So all in all, the crit cap is probably 50%, but we don't know, you couldn't really get over 50% crit chance. If you've liked this video, consider subscribing. I post new World videos every week.